Welcome back. Contractors have until tomorrow to bid on the next round of the Streamlined Technology Acquisition Resource for Services Multiple Awards contract. The STARS 3 deal will have a $50 billion ceiling. That's twice as high as the last iteration of the contract. Joe Jordan is CEO at Actuparo, former administrator of federal procurement policy. Joe, it's good to see you. What are you watching as the bids close on STARS 3 and GSA starts to go through them?
Yeah, I think, there are a lot of things to watch, Francis. First of all is, how are they going to maintain the great success of STARS 2, the prior currently existing vehicle, as well as fix some of the issues around on-ramping and off-ramping. They did bump up the ceiling quite a bit. STARS 3 has more than 2x the even updated ceiling of STARS 2. And also how they're going to plan for adoption of new technologies, because that's what STARS is supposed to provide agencies, a streamlined way to access these technologies and services, and also to adopt new procurement practices as those come up over the next 5 to 10 years. Those are really the things that we'll want to look at between now and then the award date for this vehicle.
Do we have an example of where the on-ramping and off-ramping is working in another vehicle, Joe?
I don't, and that's the thing. That's why. So GSA kind of came out earlier this year and said, look, we're raising the ceiling for STARS 2 from 15 billion to 22 billion because it was running out of room and nobody knew what to do. And at the time, a lot of people said, well, look, GSA is taking a lot of credit for solving a problem it created. It could have acted much sooner and not created so much consternation in the community. But I'm a little bit more sympathetic because, to your point, the key is figuring out how to transition new companies, new qualified 8A companies onto a vehicle like this, and then folks who've graduated after an appropriate time off of one. One of the things people don't often think about with STARS 2 right now is 73% of the businesses, the 787 small businesses on STARS 2, are no longer qualified. They've graduated from the 8A program. So, no, I can't point to a place where this has been solved in the past, and so therefore they're going to have to build some flexibilities into the methodology for this vehicle so that they can, solve it or address it moving forward.
And I don't mean to imply by the question that there should be a good example of this. Maybe that implies your answer implies that there isn't an answer and that this isn't easy and that it isn't something that necessarily will be addressed in STARS 3 or in any other contract vehicle, Joe, because of the churn, directly because of the churn that you're talking about.
I think that's right. And, again, I am, someone who wants to encourage innovation and risk-taking in our procurement practices. And therefore, if GSA tries something new with STARS 3 and the methodology and ways to address this, and it isn't perfect or it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be beating them up. I'm going to be applauding them for not doing the same thing. If they do the same thing, that's, hey, they've talked about room for more vendors on this one. So great, you've got 1,000 8A companies on this vehicle, but 5 years from now, no new companies who have come and brought new technologies and services to the marketplace have been allowed on, and all the folks who have really grown far beyond the size standard or qualifications of the program are still in there. Well, then I'll be a little bit disappointed. But they've got great teams managing these government-wide acquisition vehicles, and I'm confident that they're gonna show some cool innovation in this one.
What does a quick turnaround look like in your view on this? Laura Stanton says that's what she wants on these awards. What does that look like in your view, Joe?
So I'm hesitant to say that for fear of the audience all throwing tomatoes at their screen, but it's August 25th. Tomorrow the due date, the 26th. STARS 2 ends almost exactly a year from today. If they can get it awarded, up and running through the protest processes and anything like that by end of next August, I'll consider that rapid and a success.
I'm on the show every night, Joe, so there's plenty of tomatoes thrown at the screen already. Don't worry about that at all. What will you pay attention to once the awards are done as far as the companies being able to maximize their participation in this program?
Well, obviously, IT procurement and specifically the procurement of IT services is a huge area of federal contracting, and all agencies engage in this, of course. And there are many vehicles that offer similar goods and services. And so, what I'll look for is, are agencies voting with their feet? Are they using this vehicle to get the services, the technologies that they need? And if not, why not? Where are they going? Is it, soup or chess or other places? And if they are, and if they're kind of, having the success that would be indicated by a predicted $50 billion ceiling, then, I'll view that largely as a success.
Joe Jordan, thanks very much as always. Great to see you.
Thanks, Francis.